So we are talking all about teams today. And couldn't be more fitting to have my team giving us some tips here. So I'm excited to talk about this because I think this is a conversation that I think a lot of you will find helpful, especially if you're on a team or thinking about expanding your team or creating a team. So this is a way to show you how you can utilize all of our team functionality within Wise Agent.
Yeah.
All right, so as usual, we're recording this, so don't worry if you have to jump out for a minute and take a phone call or whatever it is that you have to do. If you miss anything, we're gonna be sending you the replay on this, as well as it will be, because we are live on Facebook, you'll also be able to see that in our Wise Agent community. So, all right, should we start off, ladies? I'm gonna put on my glasses. I gotta read some stuff, so I have to wear my glasses. We're gonna be talking about a few things here. Some of our topics are lead distribution and how to share those with either your outside team members, if you're connected to and have outside team members, maybe Camilla can explain what that means in a little bit here, as well as like your transactions and how to use, sharing your transaction, your templates. And then also my favorite view of the transactions, the matrix view. I love using that. So I'll show that off to everyone. Utilizing our buyer search criteria, our advanced contact filters, and then Sarah will be going over some marketing things with you and how to get your a high open rate with texting and some of our other features. So if you have any questions, start using the Q&A. I already see some people using that, so that's awesome. All right, let's start it off. Maybe Camilla, you can start off by explaining how the team functionality works within Wise Agent.
Yes. So thank you, Eleni, for starting us off. So with Wise Agent, we are team friendly. So there's several different ways for you to set up your team within the system. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen over here so you can see one of the few ways that you can set up a team within your Wise Agent account. So the first way we have our inside team members, where you have that main account holder or the team lead, and then you have the team members working underneath your account. So you can have up to 5 team members working under one account. Of course, if you have a larger team or you're planning on expanding, you can always request additional team members. So again, that's your inside team member option, where all the agents are working under, the same Wise Agent account. Then we also have the inside team member with permissions. So you're able to set up additional permissions on specific team members. So if you're wanting to set restrictions on what specific team members can do, what they can see in the account, our system allows you to do that based on that additional login that you would have purchased for that team member. And as you can see here, there's different items that you can select off to allow those specific team members to do within the account. And then lastly, the next option that we have for setting up your teams in Wise Agent is an outside team member. So back up at the top of my screen, if I go over here to the gear icon and select the outside team member option, this will take me to a page where I can send requests to other Wise Agent members to be a part of my team. So this allows us to share important information with one another. And this is something that we actually use here internally, is adding one another as outside team members to share important contact information, lead information, appointments, and then also marketing programs. So you can do all of that with your outside team members. So as you can see here, this is my outside team within this account, and you can request a new team member. All they need to do is have a Wise Agent account. So again, this is a perfect way to even use our Share Your Wisdom feature, where you can request, other agents that that you may be working in a team in. You can invite them to use Wise Agents and then add them under your team. So that's another great way to kind of use some of our features here.
Yeah, and I just wanted to jump in and say, this functionality is really great because it can be used for, people that are either on the same team or, even if you're not on the same team, and let's say your friends or acquaintances, you know, in different markets, and you want to share referrals to one another, or you're taking a vacation, you know, let's say I'm the agent, I'm taking a vacation and I want to get all my leads still going to somebody and still having people, you know, reaching out for any leads that I might be buying because I really didn't want to give that up. I can share those automatically to anyone on my team. So it's a really useful resource and something that you could be using in different, just in different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this is a good, and adding them to an outside team doesn't cost any additional fees either. So having that, you know, in your account and just open to you is really important to note that.
Definitely. And the nice thing too about it is when you have an outside team, you're also able to track those leads that you're sharing out to your outside team members. So you can still, although you're sending that lead over to another account or an outside account, you can still track the progress and the activity for that specific lead. And I can go ahead and showcase that here for you guys here in a second. So once you set up your team within Wise Agent, you'll be able to set up different lead distributions. So when you have lead sources connected to your Wise Agent accounts, let's say you have your Facebook ads connected, or if you're purchasing leads off of Zillow, you can integrate those leads with Wise Agent. And then you can also set up lead distribution for inside and outside team members. So under the context drop-down menu, we have that lead rules page where you can set up your lead management.
Yeah. So this is something, I think this is something that really everyone should be using. It doesn't matter where you're getting your leads from or how, if you're an agent and you have a website, this is something that is so important to use these lead rules to keep your, you know, leads from being ignored, right? You don't want to ignore them. You're driving traffic to your website. Sarah, how important is it for you to be talking to these people right away?
Yeah, so I think everyone's heard that stat that everyone throws out on every webinar about how people use the first agent that they talk to. So if you're getting in front of them first and answering their questions first and building that relationship first, obviously there's a much higher chance they're going to work with you, even if they have maybe worked with another realtor in the past. So it's important like people have come to expect to get a response and information right away. So even if you're busy, this setup can definitely help you start that process and get them already hooked.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, and I know, Camilla, you were going to show some of, you know, how the lead rule works. I think one of the most important things is getting that initial message right. So maybe, you know, when you create that, when that lead comes over initially, that initial email response, or maybe if it's you know, you want to do a text response, what are the stats, Sarah? Something like 98% open rate on text messages?
Yeah, so I think probably everyone watching this, you all read all your text messages right away, right? Like I know I do. I don't know about you guys, but even all of these like crazy texts that we've been getting, I read all of them. But it is like the highest open rate out of anything. And so that's definitely something that you should use tactfully, but should use.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah.
So that the first step, of course, I know somebody asked, how do you go about setting up your lead rules or setting that process up? The first step, of course, is getting your lead sources connected to Wise Agent. And regardless of where your leads are coming in from, we have those instructions here on how to connect those lead sources to Wise Agent. And we have a support staff here that will help you 24/7 to set up your leads. So once you get those lead sources connected to Wise Agent, then you're able to set up your lead rules. So over here where it says rules for leads, I can click on this add button over here to create my lead rule for a particular source. So the nice thing about Wise Agent is that you're able to set different lead rules based on the source that the lead is actually coming in from. A lot of times, some other programs will only let you set up a rule specific to all of your leads, where Wise Agent is letting you choose specific sources to set those lead rules for. So once you select your lead rule source, regardless of whether it's coming from Facebook, if it's coming from Zillow, your website. Once you select that lead source, then you can set up your email response. So I can say that as soon as a lead comes in from a Facebook ad, I want this automated email to go out right away, and I want it to include a video response. So, right now it's we highly recommend adding a video to your emails, whether it's a BombBomb video, a video on YouTube, and adding that to your auto response. So adding that personal touch. Same with the text messages. So with our Wise texting feature, you can include a video. You can record it off of your phone. It could be through BombBomb as well, or even YouTube. So again, with the texting, I highly recommend including that video response in there as well. And like Sarah was saying, the open rates are higher than even your emails that you're sending out to your clients. So definitely taking advantage of this feature. I'm totally for it.
And so one of the things you were talking about video, I think it's so important for every agent to have a video about themselves, like create a video, who you are, what you're about, what your expertise is, what's your market. I think that should be going out to all of your leads that you're getting. I mean, what are some other, Sarah does all of our videos here and her team. So Sarah can probably be the best person to talk a little bit about videos and what you should be doing.
Yeah, so I think I've definitely seen just amongst our partners and everything, there's been a really hard push on video marketing, and we talk about that as well. And when we're talking to our members, but I think the thing to keep in mind with video, especially right now, is that it does. Sometimes with text, the tone does not come across correctly, and you're not creating that instant trust that how you would personally. You can't be in front of people right now just because of, everything that's going on, social distancing, all that. So it's a good opportunity to put your face in front of people and immediately build that trust that it might not come across correctly over a text or over an email. It might seem not exactly the tone that you are putting off. So video is a great way to remedy that. And we have the tools here to make it so simple to send it out automatically. So it's not, it takes a lot of planning to do a video, I'm not going to lie. And, but once you have that one piece of content, you can use that so many times, especially if you're setting them up to go automatically to new leads. So.
And I know like a 2-minute video can take, it depends on how much of a perfectionist you are. I think that's like one of the key things is don't be too much of a perfectionist. Your personality should come through and who you are should come through in video. And that's kind of what does happen with video that doesn't really happen with text, is that your personality comes out. And give yourself some grace and a little bit of leeway. It's fine that if you stammer over a word or mess up a word, it's totally fine to do that, as long as it's you correct yourself and then you just go on. People make mistakes, and people are very forgiving about that too. So I think video is so important, especially if you're going to be authentic and be yourself. So definitely, I know we've got someone's asking here, what should your email say if you're doing an intro on video? So maybe Sarah, you can talk about that.
Well, I think your email should mimic the source from where you got that email, if that makes sense. So whatever messaging you're saying if you create a landing page, for example, or your website, wherever they are signing up to get your email, where they will get this response, you want to make sure that message is consistent, and that also your video is consistent, because it's going to be a little confusing if they're on a landing page about home valuations kind of thing, and then you take it a whole nother direction. So keep that in mind. And I think also you want to make sure your email copy is consistent with whatever you are saying in your video, whether it's about you and reasons why you are the right person for the job, in case they don't watch the video for whatever reason. It's not likely, but possible.
Right. And I think, and that's a great advice, is that making sure that all of your branding all matches everything. You've got to make sure that things just kind of go, go in the same direction. Either whatever the context of your conversation is, or just the overall look and theme of what it is that you're sending them. So that's definitely great advice. I know Camilla, you were in the middle of showing the lead management, and a few people are asking like, hey, how do we actually how does that work? Do you want to show that again for everyone?
Definitely. I'll go ahead and share my screen again. So just in case you missed the beginning portion, how I got to this screen, I simply went to the contacts drop-down menu here, and then I clicked on lead rules, and that took me to that lead management page that I'm on now. And then from here, I can choose what lead sources I'm getting my leads from. So again, if you're getting leads from Facebook, if you're getting them from Zillow, we have instructions on how to connect those lead sources with Wise Agent. And then of course, our 24/7 support staff that can assist you and guide you on how to connect those lead sources. So once you connect those lead sources, then you can come up here to the top where you can create those lead rules specific to your source. So for, Facebook ads, if I want to come in here and I want to say all of my leads coming in from Facebook, they're added to a specific drip campaign. So Wise Agent offers those 10-day conversion plans directly in the CRM for you that you can customize. And then of course, if I wanted to tag them to any additional categories, I can do that from this screen. Then taking advantage of those auto responses that Wise Agent allows you to make. So you can make that auto email response, that auto text response, and kind of like what Sarah was saying, including a video in there that's consistent with the message that you're trying to convey. And then of course, distribution, which is really big on what we're talking about today with teams. You can set those distributions up to filter leads to different team members, whether they're inside or outside team members. I know one question that we got was in regards to if, outside team members can see your full contact list. So no, they won't be able to see your full contact list, but you'll be able to share or distribute leads to your outside team members through the system.
Yeah, that's really important. I mean, the outside team sharing is you're sharing just specific things. So you're sharing either a specific contact or a specific checklist template. You're not sharing your whole entire account. It's just sharing that one thing. And then, I think we have an example of how that will work, right, Camilla? I think we're gonna demo that in a little bit here too, is how you would actually see notes and what you'll actually see, which is a really cool little demo. We'll try and make it as seamless as possible using Zoom. So
definitely. All right. So and just to finish off with the lead distribution on the lead page, so you can set those filters up for whether you want to distribute leads by day of the week, by zip code, or by price range, or even just your basic round robin to different team members. So you have that ability to set up specific distribution filters within the system based on the source. Now for existing contacts, so when you go to your contact list in Wise Agent, you're able to share contacts like Eleni was explaining, you're able to share contacts from your database to an outside team member. And to do that, you would go to your contacts drop-down menu and then over to your contact list here where all of your clients live. So from your contact list page over here, I can simply select a specific client I wish to share over to an outside team member just by checking off their name. And then once I select their name, I can click on the actions drop down here to share that contact over to an outside team member. So when I click on the share contacts, it's going to take me to a screen to confirm the contacts I wish to share over. And then I'm able to select which outside team members I want to share this contact to. So I can share it to multiple outside team members from within my Wise Agent. Now, when sharing out contacts to outside team member accounts, you have to keep in mind that that contact now lives in that other person's database. So you want to be able to keep track of what's going on within, that other person's CRM as far as this lead is concerned. A way that you can do this is by selecting the option to track these leads. So Wise Agent lets you track the leads that you share to outside team members so you can see any updates to the notes of what your outside team member is doing. So if I select the track these leads, then I can track all of Carol's updates that she makes to this contact. So once I choose Carol's name and I click on the share clients option, this lets me know that I've sent a request over to Carol. So now if I log into Carol's account for Wise Agent, I'll be able to see that she has an alert for this team member. So just give me one moment here. Let me go ahead and share my new screen for Carol.
And there, I think, Camilla, you wanted to also check that other box that says share the notes too. You want to make sure that all the notes are being shared, because that's really the important part too. So if, Rachel is sharing a lead over to Carol, that Carol is able to see those notes of those updates and whatnot.
Yeah, so selecting this option here where it says to include your contact notes.
We're seeing Carol's account right now.
All right, let me just adjust my screen here. Perfect. Okay, so you're seeing Carol's. Now, if I go back to Rachel's, this option here where it says include your contact notes with the shared clients.
Oh, we're not seeing that. So, all right. Well, I'll let you get that set up, Camilla, so then we can see that. And then we can.
Here we go.
Yeah, there we go. Little technical difficulties with Zoom sometimes, but we got it.
Live webinars and live demos.
Yes, but these are the two options here that you want to select. So making sure that you're tracking the leads that you're sharing to your outside team members, and then also sharing, like Eleni said, sharing your notes that you have so far on those leads that you're sharing over to outside team member accounts.
Right. Yeah, and that's really important. And the way that the sharing of the contact notes works, as you can see that, Carol added the note, or whoever your outside team member does the sharing, you'll be able to see that. And then if you're writing the note, you can see that as well. So we'll let Camilla maybe set that up on the screen here in a minute. And I'm going to go through a couple of the questions while she's setting that up. Someone's asking, do we have outside sharing? Do agents share, you share leads with, do they have to have a Wise Agent account? And how do you share with them? So yes, I think Kara was asking that. So you do have to have two Wise Agent accounts. So you would be the one, if I'm sharing everything over to Sarah, so I share anything over to Sarah to her Wise Agent account, she has to have a Wise Agent account. I'll request that share from her. Let me share my screen, because I think that was another question, is how does that happen? So let me just share my screen here really quickly.
Just a quick thing too, I just typed in the chat a blog we have that really deep dives on all of this. So if you need if you really want a really deep, thorough overview of it, we did write up a blog for that. So the link is in the chat.
That's awesome. Thanks, Sarah, for that. And so just on your gear, you would just click on outside team, and you have a button here that says add team member. And then you would just be able to, enter in their email address. A few weeks ago, we had our good friend Tamara. She is a Wise Agent member and was generous to be on the webinar and also share her checklist templates for everyone. And so all you needed to do was connect with Tamara on Facebook through our community. She was going to give you her email address, and then you just type in her email address, send that, and then she was able to share everyone her contact or her templates. So this is how you would add a team member, and then adding a sharing that contact would be just really simple and quick to do from this page here. So then of course we've got another one here. Can you show how to add that? Okay, Joshua answered that question. And then Josh was asking, what's the differences between inside team and outside team? So the main difference is outside team members, they have their own Wise Agent account. And that you're really only sharing whatever it is that you're wanting to share. With inside team members, there would be more of a permission-based, kind of someone is the team lead or the broker in the account, and then the other ones are the team members, and they get permissions as to what they can see. So that's the main difference of our inside team and outside team members.
And I think a lot of our members and they use a combination of both. Mm-hmm. So that's always something to keep in mind. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
Yeah. So you don't, And I think, we do that here internally. So we use Wise Agent here. And so we have our own personal accounts. And then, and what's really nice is that you can share calendar appointments, you can share contacts, marketing campaigns, checklist templates. So all of those things can be shared. And then that's a really nice way of being able to work as a team and collaborate and get things done and share things. So if I'm the team lead and I'm sharing my marketing, I've written out a marketing campaign and I want my team to have that same type of marketing campaign to all the leads out that they're getting, that's a good way of getting that out there. And there's no copying and pasting. I hate copying and pasting. We're doing more work than
I know personally for us, like we use the outside team function just in the way that we have, an account that we send our marketing out of, and I don't want to clutter that account up with, drip campaigns that maybe we're not going to use yet, or like old ones that I want to keep. So I have like a separate account, like my account, where I build that out and then share it over when it's like a final product and we're ready to use it. So
Yeah.
it's good for collaborating, and it just sends it over. And like she said, it's not copying and pasting. I know that's super tedious and it can cause errors too. So
yeah, exactly. So I know we said that we were going to talk about transactions too. So I'm going to share my screen again and just kind of talk a little bit about how our transaction management makes things a little bit easier on you when you're viewing a bunch of transactions out there and you want to see, how are you, where do you stand in all of your transactions that you're dealing with. So we have something called this matrix view right here. And the way that works is you do want to sort it by the same types of templates, because what you're looking at is a matrix view. So it's going to show all the different, tasks that you have. And so I'll just select these three. And if I click on matrix view, what it does is it makes it really easy. If I need to if I need to call to get an inspection on different properties that I'm working on, what I can do is just with a click of a button, go through and call the person and just say, okay, I've got 644 Dorsey Street, and then I've got whatever these other addresses are. I've got these three properties that need to have this one thing done. So then I can just get it done. And once it's done, it just will, and if it, I don't need to do it, I just, check an NA off on it and it's just done. So that's a really nice way to get a lot of things done really quickly without having to go through a lot of different pages and going back and forth. So I love this. I love this because I don't like, you probably, if you've seen any of my webinars, you'll know that I hate to scroll. I hate to click around. I hate to read a website. I don't want to read a bunch of stuff. I just want to get to what I need to do and get there. And so how to get to the matrix, Pamela, is all really quickly, I'll share my screen one more time, is basically going through, I've got too many things open. I can't see where I'm at here. So basically just use one template. So you want to show this like one of your templates. So it doesn't matter if it's, your buyer's template or whatever it is. Select a couple of the ones that you want to look at and then click on the button that says matrix view. So that's how that works. And then you can, print this. It's nice for those of us that, sometimes I like to print things, sometimes not so much, but it's a nice way if you do need to have like a printable task of all of the things that you're working on, you could print this out or just use that one page. So that's a really cool little trick. At least that's one of my favorite things to use on the checklist. I know we were also going to be talking about the buyer search criteria and how to make that. Who was talking about that? Was that you, Camilla, that wanted to talk about that, or was that you, Sarah?
I think kind of all of us, or
Yeah.
we'll kind of put our 2 cents in kind of with the buyer search.
Yeah.
No, but it's definitely, I think it's a really great tool because you can add that in for all of your buyers that, are looking to purchase a home, and then you can search by that within the system. So I'll go ahead and share my screen, just kind of showcasing how you can get to the buyer search criteria on a contact, and then how you can actually utilize that in Wise Agent when you're wanting to search for multiple clients that are looking for the same property. That way you can send some marketing based on that same criteria that they all have. So over here on my screen, I'm going to go ahead and pull up my contact, Michael, and let me know if you can see Michael now.
See Michael.
Perfect. So as you can see with our Wise Agent summary page, we allow you to put a lot of details on your clients. That way, when you pick up the phone, you have more to talk about with Michael. I can talk to him about his dog and his kids that he has and make that personal connection with him. But then down here, as I'm talking to Michael on that phone, and he's telling me a little bit about what him and his wife, Nicole, are looking for, I can plug that into my CRM. So I'm able to put in new search criteria where I can plug in the desired location, the price range, the minimum square footage that they're looking for. I can add in how many bedrooms, bathrooms, when they're looking to move. And then of course, are they looking to rent? Are they looking to own? So I'm able to plug this in for all of my clients that are in Wise Agent that are buyers. And then of course, I can add in new search criteria so I can add in multiple searches that this lead may have.
And
Now,
then,
what?
I was
go
going to
ahead.
say, back on that page, when you're adding the criteria, those notes are also searchable. So if there's something that's not in here that you do want to search by, you can put it into the notes section and you can search it as well. So
Yes, that is correct. And then once you plug in your search criteria, if we go back to your contact list, so if I go back to my contacts, then my contact list, from here, we have those advanced filters that you're able to search by. So over here on the left-hand side, there's different filters. I can search by the category, the source. So where did these leads come in from? So if I wanted to pull up my buyer category, search all my buyers, I'm able to do that. Or I can just simply go down to the additional field search here. And then I can plug in specific search criteria fields that I know that I've plugged in. So if I know that I want to see, everyone who's looking for 5 bedrooms, I could do property bedrooms, hit search, and then it will pull up any of my clients that have that search criteria plugged in, because I know that I just listed a property, or Sarah or Carol, my outside team member, just listed a property, and I'm like, oh, I have these buyers that are looking for 5 bedrooms in Fountain Hills. I should send them a quick text message showcasing this property. So I would just select their names now that I've pulled them up based on that search criteria that I've plugged in. And then I can simply go to our mass actions drop down here, where I can send them out a text message. So I can easily send out a text, including, the property details of that property that has the 5 bedrooms that they're looking for. Something to really include in these text messages, I would say, especially if you're going to be showcasing a property, you can link this up with our landing pages. That's one thing that I know would work great with showcasing the property. And with our landing pages, we offer templates that you can use, so you can build off of the templates that we offer.
Yeah, definitely. If you're not taking advantage of our landing pages, it's something that you should definitely be doing. I know they're really easy to use and really easy to share out on Facebook, share out on any social media, just to really generate any leads. So if you're not generating leads, from paid advertisement, then this is a good way of doing it. And I know one of the questions that we get a lot of is, do we sync with like Google Ads? And that, so there's no sync. That's not the right terminology for it. The way it would work is with Google Ads, what you need to have is you need to have a landing page. And once you run your campaign, and maybe Sarah, you can talk more to this point than I can, a little bit more details, but what you would have is you would need to run your campaign, and that campaign would filter those leads to a landing page. And so you need to use some kind of landing page creator or builder. You can use your website if you want, but if you don't have a website or you're not exactly sure what page to send them to, certainly Wise Agent you can create one of our landing pages to suit that need. So then you can really segment it. You don't want everyone just going to your contact us page on your website, because that's not gonna really sort anybody out or filter them through, right, Sarah?
yeah, and then also it's going to give you information when they come into the system on exactly what they're looking for. So if you're just putting out an ad saying, it could be very specific. So they're like, yeah, I do want to buy a house. Like, show me, that if they come in through and they just go right to your landing page or your website, they're not going to know where to go from there. There's no call to action. There's no like clear cut direction for what they need to do and what they can expect. So that's where a landing page can come in, and you can completely customize it to exactly your message, what you want to say. If you're going to put what they call a lead magnet on the other side, which would be like, I'm going to give you this seller's guide if you submit your information. So then you can set that up with the lead rules where it will, once they submit their information, they get information back from you right away. So if it is a guide or, you know, some kind of video, something like that, it can be sent automatically right away. So they're getting that. But also how the lead rules work is they'll come in with that source. So you're already in categories. So you're already getting information on how to talk to them, how to follow up when you do go to follow up.
Yeah, and that's a great point too. I know one of the questions is what is a landing page, and basically Sarah just kind of described what a landing page is, right? So, but making sure that what the point of those landing pages is that it's just a single, it only has one point, and that is to capture that lead. That's the only thing that landing page is supposed to give information, and then you're supposed to capture that information. And then the nice thing about how it works with Wise Agent is it'll automatically like categorize it and source it for you. So you know that's working, that segmenting your audience. We say that a lot, is that you should be segmenting your audience. And so that's what our lead rules really help you with. So you're not sitting around having to do that, but you should be segmenting your audience like all the time, right? I mean,
yeah. As you're building those relationships and learning more about those people, that's the easiest way to just add in more information to segment. And I think somebody asked, you know, if you have notes about or notes about their dog, or that's a really important part of their home search, you would be able to search that. You would be able to put them in categories. You would be able to record that information. So you can, if you were doing an event even where you're, you know, dog rescue, like those people would be good to reach out to, just even if you're staying in touch with past clients. It's just a good way to, you know, have that information when you need it, when you're like, who are my people that really care about the school district or really care about animals or that kind of thing, because your marketing is not always going to be for everyone. And that's just what it is. Like, I don't think even between the three of us, we have a lot in common, and I don't think we get the same marketing.
Yeah. But I think, I think it's okay to, I think that's the point of segmenting, right? So your message should be directed. So if you're talking to somebody that has, you know, kids in the school district or whatever it is that's important to them, then you're going to be talking a lot about education, about children, about maybe things that families can be doing. And then segmenting the other people that, you know, maybe don't have children in their household, segment them in a different way, because that conversation has to have a different tone to it. So that's really important, because you want to make sure that you distinguish those conversations and those tones of what it is and that message that you're sending them. And so there's another question on how do we get landing pages and how do we set those up? And so it's a really easy way of doing that. I don't know, Sarah, do you want to, I know you deal with the landing pages all the time. You want to share?
Yeah, let me just be patient with me while I see, because I don't have it up, but I got it.
Okay.
And so,
yeah, so landing pages are
can we see it?
Really simple and easy to use. So there we go.
Yeah, so right under your marketing tab here, we can see what I'm sharing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Just going to go to landing pages. That's simple. So you will see right here, we have a lot of templates and we put more in all the time. So we have open house sign-ins, we have home valuation forms, we have multi-property pages, single property pages. So whenever you want to preview what this is kind of looking like, you just hit the preview button. And then when you are ready to create one, you just hit create. And I'm going to just go off of one we already have, or I'll just hit create. It's okay. So see here, you're going to want to name your landing page something specific, and then you will be able to select your source as well. And then if you don't have a source, you can add it in. So you want to be like as specific as possible, because this is, you know, going to give you a lot of information about the leads that are coming in through this source.
Yeah.
So
and you can have more than one landing page up in active at a time. We just give you one active with your account, and then you can create as many as you want. Just the additional ones are a nominal fee of $5.
So this is the landing page. As you scroll through like all of these bits here, and my computer is being so slow and I'm really sorry. Maybe I'm not the screen. There we go. Okay. So like the title here, whenever you want to put in your title, you just click it and it is reactive as you edit. So you can say like new like beachfront property, whatever title you want to put in.
No.
Sorry?
I said in the desert.
In the desert, both. Best of both worlds, the best property you could possibly buy. So yeah, and then also you can just, my favorite thing is you can actually move that text box over. So I'm sorry, you guys, my internet is not being
No, you're good.
very forgiving. Okay. So you can move the text, you can see how, you know, what you're changing, how it's going to look as it's happening.
Yeah.
And then there's also a lot of things. There's, of course, the most important thing on this page is the form. The form is very customizable. You can choose what information you want, and all of this will automatically go into that contact summary and in the notes and everything for when you are following up, and it will stay there always. And then you want to make sure you know, your call to action is this. So everything that you put on this page, this again is serving one single purpose, and it needs to lead them to filling out this form. This video, everything is going to help you drag them to get, you know, to put in their information so that you can follow up with them and create that relationship. So, and then you can also,
I was just,
go ahead.
I was going to say, someone was asking, can you use this for other purposes? So they don't always have to be for, you know, buying or selling a home. It could be, someone was asking, can you use it for events? Absolutely. You can create it for whatever it is that you want. I know we have several templates out there where, I'm going to steal the screen from you, Sarah. You can have it where you've got a landing page for maybe getting to know somebody. Maybe you've got new clients that you're taking out on, you know, showing them properties so you can get to know them a little bit more. I know that's something some people are really loving, is being able to create a landing page for various reasons. So it doesn't always have to be about an actual property or whatnot, but you can definitely use that. Can you print out these landing pages? I mean, I suppose you could do a print screen, but the purpose isn't to print them out. You know, the purpose is to have them, they're little websites. So they're mini websites that have a response to them as well. And so do we have any that are helping to get to know you? Yeah. So let me just do this one. So what these websites do is, once you get their information, once you give them their information that, you know, they're attracted to, right? This is the reason why they came here. And you have them fill out this form. Once they click on submit, then you can have, I've got too many things open here. I got to slide everything over. Then you can, still too many things. You can have your response page where you can redirect them somewhere. So you can redirect them to another landing page. You could just have a response where it would just be kind of like a little thank you page, and then with a button that says follow me on Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is that you want them to follow you on, or check out my reviews on Zillow or whatever it is. Then you can have them going to another page. You want them to really go through a whole entire funnel in order to really go through the whole process and get excited about, you know, waiting to hear back from you. So, and whatever it is that you're doing. And that's a really important thing. So if you're going to be, so you're not really wanting these to print them out for anything. If maybe you're wanting it, and the only reason I can think of why you would want it to be printed would be perhaps you're holding an open house. In that case, you would just use our open house template and have either a tablet or a laptop at the property and ready for them to fill out this form so they can submit it.
And the nice thing about the getting to know you landing pages, Eleni, like you were talking about, is you can even send those to existing contacts in your Wise Agent account. So when you're using those search criteria to find those, the additional search filters to find those contacts that you have missing information on, you can then send them that landing page to update their information. So you can use that getting to know you landing page to easily update your client's information instead of having to call and, you know, do it all one by one as well. So that's another great way to use that landing page.
Yeah, exactly. Were you gonna say something?
I was also gonna say we use it for our like invites to events that we're having. So Christmas party, whatever, we just send it out, make it real quick, and then people, put their information in, and then easy.
It is. It's easy because and then you can, it's already sourced for you. So then you can go, your Christmas party 2020, you can go there and see, okay, who's coming, who's filled out this form. What are they, what are they saying? You can ask them questions like, do you have any allergies? And all that information will go into their contact notes. So then you can see, oh, so-and-so has a seafood allergy or whatever it is that you're asking them. So if you are planning those type of if you're doing any events or doing anything of that nature, you can really see it from there. One question that we had early on was, can you walk us through the process of sending a monthly newsletter? So who wants to take that on? I'm going to do that right now. Maybe Camilla, you want to do that one?
Oh yeah, sure, definitely. So for sending out the monthly newsletter, so each month, for those of you who don't know, each month Wise Agent generates a monthly newsletter for our members to send out to their database. So under the marketing drop down here, you'll be able to find the newsletter feature. With our newsletters, you're able to either print them out or email them out to your clients. We have the English and the Spanish version of the newsletter. And then we also have a Canadian version for months like these where, October was actually Thanksgiving for our Canadian members. So Thanksgiving is November for us. So then we have something different for their newsletter. So for the monthly newsletter, you simply just click on the current month that we're in. You select your designation. So any certifications that you've acquired, you can check those options off here. And then on that next screen, you're able to edit the content that we've provided for you on your monthly newsletter. So from this next screen where it says edit your newsletter, you'll be able to go in there and add some customizations to the content that's already designed for you. You see that it pulls in your contact information from your profile, so your agent photo, your company logo, and then we have it divided into 3 different sections each month. So we have more seasonal related content in here. We always include a recipe. And then, of course, we have real estate related content down below here. And it is customizable, so you're able to go in there and make changes as you wish. So if you wanted to switch out an article, you're able to do that. And then, of course, our team here is also trained on showing you how to really customize the newsletter. So if you want to become a pro at making these newsletters more personalized, we can definitely show you how to do that. And then with the newsletters, once you go in, you make your customizations, you add in a unique title to your newsletter. You simply just save that newsletter, and then you'll be able to email it out through the system. So over here on the right-hand side, where it says email, I can simply click on that little paper plane icon to email this out to my contacts. And then on this next page, I'm able to actually segment my audience. So down below here, if I scroll down to where it shows me my full contact list, I can use those advanced filters. So where it says advanced, I can go, I can select this option and then pull up a specific category or use any of these other filters here to really target my audience for my monthly newsletter.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. One of the things with the monthly newsletter is putting in like local information on your newsletter. So maybe, I know some of the members that we have right now, they're like, oh, I don't want to send out a quote, or I don't want to send out a recipe, or I want to add to it. You can add to the newsletter if you want to keep everything in there, and then do something like, hey, around our neighborhood or around your neighborhood, this is what's happening. So you can look it up. And that's why it's really nice to be able to segment everyone in your account and to have all their data in there. So making sure that you're filling in people's city and street and zip code and all of that information, all of that data in there. So then you can look and see, well, everyone that lives in, Fountain Hills, I'm going to send them information about the Thanksgiving Day parade or whatever it is that's happening at this time of year. So that's something that really, really you should be getting in the habit of making sure that you're putting in everyone's data in there. And I know one of the things that we said, and someone asked to repeat it, was that getting to know you landing page is something that you can email out to everyone in your database. So that will automatically update their contact records with their new information, right, Camilla?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. So that's something that you can do. Do you want to show how to add a landing page to the newsletter or whatever email that they use?
Definitely. So once you have your newsletter on that email contacts page, if you can scroll down anywhere on your newsletter and select a section to add in your landing page. So if I just put my cursor at the bottom of my newsletter page, and then I scroll back to the top here where it says landing pages, I'm able to select from any of the active landing pages I have in my Wise Agent account. So then I can choose from any active landing pages. So let me just go back to my landing page wizard. And if I want to, I can make this active, the help me get to know you one. I can activate this one. That way I can select it on that newsletter page. So right now the open house one is the only one that I have active. So if I had an upcoming open house, if I select that newsletter, it will populate it down below here at the bottom of my newsletter page where they can click to get more information on that open house. So now I'm sending them the monthly newsletter with updated information, but I'm also sending them an invite to join in on an open house that I'm having.
And that becomes something like what Sarah had said earlier, that lead magnet. Now you can see maybe there's something on your newsletter that whoever you're sending this to finds it so valuable that they share it to other people. You know, maybe they share it to a friend or a family member. They share this on, well, your landing page is on there, and then they can, that's part of your lead magnet. They can share it, and then you can, you know, obviously have the email lead rules, respond to them and do all of that. Sarah, do you want to talk a little bit about how when sending out the emails, the email open rate and delivery rate? You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so we touched on it a bit about segmenting, but that really is a big piece of it, because the more personalized and relevant the information, sorry, I was reading a comment there. The more personalized and relevant the information is to the person who's receiving it, the more likely they are to open that and continue to open that. So like you were saying with the newsletters, if there's like hyper local information, even when you're reaching out to these people and you've already sold them a property and there's really not like a ton of reason for them to like business wise be, you know, engaging with your marketing, like they're not looking actively to sell or buy a house, but they may be in the future. So you want to stay in touch with them. Putting in that local information or anything that's relevant to them, which goes back to how we were saying, you add those notes in about dogs, about things like that. They're going to continue to open those emails. And then that's going to make it so that whenever people are seeing your emails, they're going to always show up in the inbox in like the correct folders, if that makes sense. It's not going to go to spam because they've been continuously opening it. So you have to, in a way, train an inbox to make sure your information's getting in front of them. But if people are never opening your information, you're not sending out the right things, or you're not putting the right subject lines to pique people's interest, essentially. Yeah. It really is about, you know, getting attention, and don't take it to an extreme where you're sending things just to open to get attention. We've seen that backfire in some ways, but definitely just making sure that whenever you are segmenting, you can pull those groups so that they're getting the right message is most important. And I think once you've mastered that, you won't really have to worry about open rates, because people will naturally gravitate to like opening your content.
Yeah. So making sure, again, it goes back to that sending the right message to the right person. So you really want to get to know everyone. This is a relationship building, you know, kind of business that you're in. You're building relationships, and your product is, you know, selling is you're selling yourself, and the byproduct, I guess, is the houses that you're selling, or, you know, helping people buy. But really it's about building those relationships, getting to know who they are so you can send them the right message. And that's something that's super important. I think we can't say that enough. I know I say that, I think on every webinar that I'm on, is that you really have to get to know every single person. And so just to go through, because we've got a few more minutes here, just to go through some of these questions really quickly. So Ronit is asking, can you post newsletters in Facebook and other social media channels?
Yes, so you can, and you can easily do that by just using the share link that we offer.
Yeah. What button do you choose to send the letter to your email contacts in Wise Agent? So that
I think that's in reference to the email newsletter. So when you're on the edit newsletter screen, there'll be a button that says email. It's a green button with the paper plane icon, which you click on that button and that takes you to email out your newsletter to your clients.
yeah. And then we already touched on that open rate. So yes, we do see every time somebody opens your email, that's found in our reports. You want to be able to make sure that you check that. So if you're sending out lots of emails or even one email, you want to make sure that you're tracking it, making sure that people are opening it and what's happening with that email. If you're seeing that your emails aren't being opened, then you kind of have to, you know, figure out what's happening there. Is it the subject line? Is it the message inside? Is it the people that you're sending this to? You're giving them some kind of information that really is just not relevant to them.
It can't even be the number of people you're sending to at a time. Like that definitely will trigger like a spam reaction where it's like, why are they sending this subject line to so many people? Like it can't be that relevant. So that's something to consider as well. I always see better open rates when we segment into smaller groups. So
yeah. Segment into smaller groups, having that having their first name maybe in the subject line too. So it would say like, Sarah, thanks for, you know, whatever, Sarah, what do you think about this property or whatever it is that you're sending, put in their name. And then if I send it to Sarah, it'll say her name. If I send it to Camilla, it'll say her name. So using those placeholders in the subject line is really important too. Are you able to send the newsletter in the mail using Wise Printing? So no, you can send the newsletter using mail if you just, you know, you can print it out and there is that print version of the newsletter. You want to make sure, and that's why we distinguish it between the print and the, you know, the email version, because you want to make sure the margins are obviously wider on the print version. You can mail that out and have, we do offer envelopes and labels in the system, so you can have use that. So that was, I think those are all the questions. Did I miss any? Okay. Oh, Camilla, you're on mute. I saw your lips.
No, I was saying, I think we got all of the ones that were in the Q&A.
Yeah, I think so too. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate you guys being on. Sarah and Camilla, you guys were fabulous as usual. And thank you, everyone, for joined us. So next week, I am going to be hosting another webinar on Thursday. I don't know what the date is. Maybe Sarah does.
well,
maybe not. I don't know. Who knows the date? Nobody knows the date. Next Thursday. I don't print anything out, so I don't know the date. I have to change my screens, but it is next Thursday. J-Man is going to be on with me, and so we're going to be talking about holiday marketing and what we should be doing. The 12th is.
I can confirm Thursday is the 12th.
Thank you, Bree. Thank you, Brianna. So, do we have to sign up for the webinar? Yes. We've got emails going out for those webinars. So if you've signed up for this webinar, that means that you will be getting an email for the next
today.
Oh, it's going out today. Okay, that's it.
Perfect.
So also, yes, so someone was just saying if we could slow down as we're going through the steps, as we're doing this, just so you all know, these aren't real, like, this is not training here. What we're doing, we're just having conversations showing you what's possible. So everything that we've done today, and maybe I'm going to ask Sarah, Camilla, if you guys can post our support. Camilla, if you can do that on the chat. But definitely this is not training. If you want training, anything you saw here, we're going to post our contact information, so you can send an email to help@wiseagent.com or give us a call. We'll post our phone number as well, or use our contact us through your Wise Agent account. It's really important to understand that this is in training, but when you call in, that individual training will definitely be a lot slower and at your pace. So thanks for bearing with us on that. I appreciate everyone's time today. So thank you so much. If you guys have any other questions, we'll be on Facebook Live for a little bit. Sarah's going to be on Facebook looking through any questions, and feel free to tag any one of us on that as well, and we'll be happy to answer those questions. All right. Thank you, everyone. See you next week.